Hey guys, welcome back. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you don't know, I need 1,000 subscribers to be considered a YouTube partner. And once I become a YouTube partner, I get access to a lot of creator tools and things like that. Plus the fact that I could be monetized, which is great. So every subscriber counts, and thank you guys for subscribing and for watching my stuff. I really appreciate it. In today's video, we are going to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about, and from the views, I think it's one of your favorite things to talk about, Spotify. The other day, my friend texted me and said, "Nico, is there a way to find your most played song on Spotify?" And off the top of my head, I was like, no. Which is something that I missed from iTunes. When we had iTunes on the computer and on my iPod, I used to play a little game with myself to see how many times I could listen to a song. Because I love listening to new songs on repeat. If you follow me on Spotify, you probably know that because I'll just play the same song over and over again. But Spotify never showed you what was your most played other than their year in review, where they show you the most played for each year. But what if I just want to know what's the most recent for the past month or of all time? So in today's video, we are going to be talking about 2 ways to access more analytics about Spotify and to view your listening habits. So it doesn't take much, honestly. The first one is we're going to go to spotify.me. You are what you stream. So this is from Spotify for brands, and it's understanding people through music. Think you know what kind of listener you are? Log into spotify.me to see your own streaming in action. And this one does not give you access to your top played songs, but the one I get to after this, which is the third-party one, will give you access to that. Still, this one's really useful because what it gives you access to is very interesting. So I'm gonna log in. Okay, so it says you agree that Spotify.me will be able to view your Spotify account data, view your activity on Spotify, and take actions in Spotify on your behalf. And this is okay in my book, but do it at your own discretion. In my opinion, this is just so that it can work and so that it can make a playlist for you at the end. And also, I think this is a Spotify official thing, so I have no problem giving this access. So let's see. Let's start with my recent listening. So recently, the song I've been listening to for over the past month is The Key to Life on Earth by Declan McKenna. A couple of weeks ago, one of my favorite bands, Delwater Gap, came out with their new song, Ode to a Conversation Stuck in Your Head. So there's some competition now, but I don't think I could play that song as much as I played The Key to Life on Earth by Declan McKenna. I love that song so much. So my top artist is Declan McKenna. My top track is The Key to Life on Earth, which I was expecting because I played it probably 1,000 times. Here's When You Listen, based on your most recent 400 streams. So kind of all throughout the day, but never in the morning. 12 p.m. is my most active hour. 71% of your tracks are energetic. Energy is based on the dynamic range, perceived loudness, and general entropy of a track. Cool. My top genre is pop, which appears in 66% of your top tracks. Interesting. And then they gave me a playlist at the end, which I can save to Spotify. And I'll open it, I guess. Most of these are artists that I listen to, not all of them. I see a couple on there that I'm not a huge fan of, but this playlist seems like it's taking the artists that I'm listening to and giving me songs that I don't usually play by them. Which I think is kind of a hit or miss. If it's my favorite artist and it's the songs that I don't play, it's probably the songs that I don't like. But I mean, I'll try these out. Some of these I'll probably like. Some of these I've heard of before. So I think it's a good mix, and I think it's worth giving it a try. So that is the first one. So now let's go into the more exciting one. So the next one is the one that I used originally and the one I recommend the most, despite it being a third-party application. And that is called Stats for Spotify. So you click login with Spotify. You have to give it access to your data in order for it to work. So I'm gonna click agree. But do it at your own discretion. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, then don't. So now I'm in, and it gives me access to my own charts and it compares it to the last visit. So almost like how iTunes or Billboard works, where it has an up arrow or a down arrow on a song week by week, that's how it works here also. Create a playlist and recently played tracks. So let's see my top tracks recently. Like I said, my 2 top tracks recently were The Key to Life on Earth by Declan McKenna and Ode to a Conversation Stuck in Your Throat by Delwater Gap. Third one is I Know Alone by Haim. I love Haim. They're such a great band and their production is immaculate every single time. Fourth song is Brazil by Declan McKenna. Brazil was his first single to get huge, so that was actually the first song I heard by him. And All Your Love by Jacob Ogawa. It's a very chill song and I really like it. The next song is called Surrounded by Poets by Nick Cianci. It was released a few weeks ago and I'm a huge fan of his music. I think he kind of sounds like Rob Thomas in the early 2000s. I really like his music. I think it's something different yet kind of nostalgic at the same time. Run by Joji is a sad song, but I like it. West Coast by Coconut Records. That one I actually found from Emma Chamberlain and I really like it. The next song is called Yes I'm Changing by Tame Impala. I am a huge fan of Tame Impala. I think his album Currents is one of my favorite albums of all time. People associate Tame Impala with indie even though he's mainstream, so there are a couple of memes about people saying, oh, you should check out this underground artist and it's Tame Impala, but I really like Tame Impala's music. I think he's great. And then number 10 is The Steps by Haim, and I am a huge fan of Haim, like I said. So then the last 6 months, some Driver era. Swingland by Harmless was probably my favorite song in January, and probably one of my favorite songs this year so far. Fake Happy by Paramore. I love Paramore, and I like Hayley Williams' solo stuff that recently just came out. And then all time, this is the past 3 or 4 years of data. I had a Spotify account for 10 years, but I had to consolidate 3 different accounts, so I worked with Spotify to consolidate those. But some of my data got lost in between. So this is just the past 2 or 3 years, I think. When the Party's Over by Billie Eilish, Something to Tell You by Haim, Wild Love by James Bay, and then Now I'm In It by Haim, and I Found You by James Bay. His album Electric Light is one of my favorite albums of all time, so definitely check that out. And then you can also see your top artists. So just for example, I mean, if my listening history already hasn't shown it, my top 5 artists of the last 4 weeks have been Declan McKenna, Haim, Tame Impala, The Driver Era, and Tom Odell, just to name a few. And if you are on your top tracks and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can create a playlist and then a view playlist. And there it is. So I think it's pretty sick. Stats for Spotify.com. Definitely check it out. And I hope Spotify will eventually add this into its own platform without having to use a third party. But for now, this is a great option, and I love the way that it's formatted with the up arrows and down arrows. I think it's really sick and really user-friendly. And if you want to, comment your top song of the past 4 weeks. I'd love to know. I love discovering new music, so if you have any song suggestions, let me know. And if you want to follow me on Spotify, my link is in the description. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, click the subscribe button. It really helps me out, like I said, and I post a new video every Thursday, and I will see you guys next week. Peace, and stay healthy.